Alrighty, welcome to another MH3 draft, and we got a 6, as in red and 6, because you have to qualify it, because 6 is just such a weird card name. I actually really like taking this card first. 3 mana, 2/4 reach. Whenever it attacks you, mill 3, you can get a land back if you milled one. Okay, that's great. And all your non-land permanents in your graveyard have retrace, so you can cast them by discarding a land. So pretty nice. The best combo with this that I've found is a Cursed Marauder. That's the 2 mana 2/1 that on ETB each player sacks a non-token. You just keep spending 2 mana and discarding a land to make them sack a creature. So I'm going to take 6, and I'm hoping to go into black-green, which is funny because black is, by most people's kind of opinion, the worst color. I agree with that, but there are reasons to draft black, and 6 is one of them. So let's see if we get the support for that. Oh, Chthonian Nightmare? Okay, we are doing it. This card is so good with 6 because A, it brings it back if it dies. B, 6 can bring back Chthonian Nightmare. It's a permanent. You can retrace it. This is just perfect. We'll wheel retrofitted Transmogrant, and who cares about Annoyed Altasaur? This is the start to some good stuff. I am stoked to start with these two cards. They're two rares that work together well and to go in exactly the kind of deck that I love to draft and I like to explore in this format. All right, let's see if we can get there. I've done well with black. You just have to have a reason to do it. So this pack, I think, while there is a retrofitted Transmogrant, I'm going to take Deceptive Landscape. A black-green-white land is pretty nice because I already want black-green lands, and then there's a decent amount of white cards I would be interested in splashing, and I just think retrofitted Transmogrant and Temperamental Oozewag are kind of a dime a dozen. You can get those fairly easily, so a Cursed Marauder is one of the cards I'm really looking for, but really all the graveyardy synergy stuff, or things like Nightshade Dryad or Basking Broodscale, stuff that kind of just puts material onto the board. When I have started with these two cards, I really want to have a 18 permanents, not counting lands or something like that. I don't want that many spells. Obviously, if I get past a bunch of murders, that's one thing. But for the most part, you don't want that many non-permanent spells in your deck when you have such strong reasons to want permanents. Oh, there we go, a Cursed Marauder. There's very little I would pass for this. Malevolent Rumble is actually one of the cards I would really like in this deck. And other decks are trying to take it too. It's because it's a mill 4 and make an Eldrazi, but a Cursed Marauder is too good with these two cards to pass up. So I'm going to take that and pass on Malevolent Rumble, Dreadmobile. Ooh, we got a bunch of packs coming. Got 5 headed our direction. All right, this is going to be good. Here, okay, so there is a Nadir's Nightblade, which on the one hand, it's good when you're sacking things, especially with tokens. But I think that takes a little more work. There's Obstinate Gargoyle, which is great with a Cursed Marauder. Refurbished Familiar, which is a pretty nice one to loop, but it does cost 4, which makes it worse with Chthonian Nightmare. There's also Serum Visionary, which is actually a really fantastic card with Chthonian Nightmare in 6. But I think I'd rather just take Refurbished Familiar. It's a little bit worse than Serum Visionary, but it is in our colors, which I think is important. Okay, here there's Eviscerator's Insight and Boggart Trawler and a black-white-blue land. There's also Buried Alive, which has some sauce with Nightmare and 6, but I think you're still probably not supposed to take that. I think I just like Eviscerator's Insight. That card is a pretty good way to get things going. And then now I'll take Gravedig, though I don't want many of these. Gravedig not being an actual creature makes it so much weaker. So I just took 2 spells in a deck that doesn't want that many. Maybe I should have just taken the Boggart Trawler because I just want to get extra creatures into my deck, but I do like Eviscerator's Insight with a Cursed Marauder on an empty board, turn 4. You cast the Marauder in response to the trigger, you sack it to draw 2, and they still have to sack a creature. Works pretty well. Okay, there's another Buried Alive, but I think here I just take black, white, blue land because I only have the 1 green card. It's one I really want to play. I'm not playing 6, but I think that taking Contaminated Landscape could open the door for Serum Visionaries, which I kind of wish I took over Refurbished Familiar, but we'll see how it ends up. Ooh, another Refurbished Familiar. Okay, well, that actually does make me happier taking the first one because getting multiples of these, they work really well together. They make each one subsequently cheaper. Now let's see if we can get some Transmogrant back, and then we're really rolling. It would be nice to pick up at least one of the 2 that I opened in packs 1 and 2, but obviously that doesn't necessarily always happen. All right, it did come back. There's also a Blood-Soaked Insight, which is a pretty nice one, but I think the Transmogrant is too important for this deck. I'll play multiples of them. They're also really good with a Curse Marauder, by the way. Turn 1 Transmogrant, turn 2 a Curse Marauder, assuming, of course, they play a 2-drop. Then you sack the Transmogrant. I'll take another one of these. And, I mean, after pack 1, we're mono black with one really good green card, and then an Esper and Obzon land. All right, here I'm going to take Witch Enchanter. Draw's Claw is good with the 2 Refurbished Familiars, but Witch Enchanter, I have 2 white lands to splash it, is a great card to loop. And look, now I'll take Obstinate Gargoyle over the Nightblade, which, first of all, everything's open. Look, I even got a Buried Alive for free. And second of all, I think Gargoyle is going to be really strong in this deck. Okay, so here, there is Arna Kennerud, white, blue, black, 4/4 flying lifelink. And it also doubles the number of tokens whenever your modified creatures attack. It's also Grist Voracious Larva. Hold on. Oh, I can flip this super easily. Whenever a Grist or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it entered from the battlefield or you cast it from the graveyard, you can pay a green. So it flips when these come back. It flips with Chthonian Nightmare. It flips with 6. This is like the best Grist deck I've seen. And the Grist is pretty powerful. You flip it, it has 3 loyalty, you +1, make an insect, and it's Death Touch if you mill the black card after you mill 2, and it disenchants, and you can also make a bunch of token copies. All right, I am in for that. And next pick, a little less exciting, but I actually think I might just take Glasswing Grace. It's a white-black land, and casting this as +2/+2 flying and lifelink is really strong. Plus, with 6, this is just a permanent that hangs out in the graveyard that I can retrace in the late game if I mill it. Or discard it or whatever. I don't mind Dreadmobile in this kind of deck, but I think Glasswing Grace is quite strong. Oh man, now there's Victimize and Necrobloom and Refurbished Familiar. I don't really need a third Transmogrant, though I think I'm in for Necrobloom. It makes tokens to sack to Chthonian Nightmare. I mean, Victimize is really good, but Necrobloom's like one of the cards that I'm going to want in play pretty badly. I don't think I can try to wheel the Necrobloom. Let's take the Necrobloom. Like, the other thing fighting against taking Victimize there is I already have 6 and Chthonian Nightmare. I have 2 ways to bring creatures back. So the third is not as good as the big creature. And here there's an Obzon land, a Murder, and then a bunch of cards that I'd be interested in, but I don't really want to take here, like Obstinate Gargoyle. I don't even really want a second Insight, or Basking Brutescale seems fine. But I kind of just want to take Deceptive Landscape. I feel like my deck is going to be very good. And I think I'd want to just get my fixing correct. Oh, now I can take Marionette Apprentice. This card is just unbelievable in this kind of deck. It makes a 1/1 token, and whenever a creature artifact goes to the graveyard under your control, it drains them for 1. They only lose 1. You don't gain 1. It's not the full drain. Also, there's Spymaster's Vault, Wither and Bloom, Ondu Knotmaster. Like, all these cards I'd be interested in playing, but I think Marionette Apprentice is too good. And then you just don't pass a Curse Marauder in this deck. Look, I like Solar Transformer, but I took Deceptive Landscape, so now... Deceptive Landscape walked so a Curse Marauder could run. By taking Fixing, I can then just take a good card over Fixing, and I don't think it's actually very close in that pack. Here, I'm looking at Eviscerator's Insight number 2, and I think I would play 2. There's also Terramander. I'm not going to end up with tons and tons of artifacts, but it's a 1-mana creature. Let's just take the Terramander. I kind of like having access to that. Oh man, Shifting Woodland and Malevolent Rumble. I got to take Breathe Your Last, though. Having a removal spell is important. There's also a Knotmaster. This deck is open. It is really open. I think I just need to take the removal spell. I already passed a removal spell earlier for Deceptive Landscape, and I think here's where I just have to take the removal. I'll take the Kami, but I'm not going to play it, I don't think. Okay, so here there's Dreadmobile, which is pretty nice with the Transmogrants. It actually can be nice with the Curse Marauder. You can sack it, and then you don't have to sack the Dreadmobile because it's not a creature. Yeah, I'll take that. I don't think I want to splash Kudo. And Fetid Gargantua is just okay. Okay, Victimized, Refurbished Familiar, and Transmogrant came back. Let's take Victimize. I have had really good experiences with that card. And then I'll take the Obstinate Gargoyle. Sure, I'll take Call the Viper. I have so many playables. Another reason to take lands, huh? And then here, oh man, Wormcoil Larva. There's also Writhing Chrysalis, but we're not doing that thing. Wormcoil Larva looks great here. It's an artifact. It's good to sacrifice to like Nightmare or Victimize. It's good to bring back. I do like Consuming Corruption, but I think Wormcoil Larva is pretty strong. So be happy enough taking that. And right now, we're at basically 21 cards because I have 4 lands here, which means I really don't need very many playables. I think I can probably take Gravedigg out at this point. Okay, another Refurbished Familiar. Yeah, I mean, these cards get better in multiples. I did pass up 1 for a Victimize, but I'm pretty happy with picking up the 3rd here. Sacking 1 and then bringing 2 other ones back is pretty cool. Hydra Trainer is okay, but that's not... And so is Expanding Ooze, but that's not what we're doing. A second Necrobloom? Yeah, maybe? Hold on. Angel of the Ruins is great. I actually might have to take Angel because it's a land cycler that when you Victimize it back, it's just absurd. It comes back really fast, and it's a 5/7 flyer. And exiles 2 artifacts for enchantments. I can also, if I've generated enough energy, get it back with Nightmare, or in the long game, cast it with 6. I think I will take Angel. I also think Necrobloom does have a decent chance of coming back. Now there's Shilgengar. This card is really good with all the sack stuff. And there's also Savine's Reclamation, which is a fantastic card. But I've got to take Shilgengar here. This looks like a great Shilgengar deck. Okay. I need to not take playables here. I need to just take lands. But this, unfortunately, no land in this pack. I'll take Horrific Assault. But actually, is there any chance I want Perilous Landscape? I guess I'm not playing blue or red, and at this point I'm not splashing them. I'm just looking for Necrobloom. Fetches are really good. Let's just take the fetch. I'm not going to play it, but I'm definitely not playing Horrific Assault either. Not playing Hydra Trainer. I could take Warped Tusker. That's another card for Victimize. I mean, we're not that many cards over. We could maybe make it work. I don't need another Gravedigg. I don't think I want Hydra Trainer. I mean, I'm just not attacking very much. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's just take the Warped Tusker here. So currently, I need to cut a couple cards. I mean, Dreadmobile is a card I could cut. 1, 2, 3, 4 lands. So this is 24 playables and 16 lands. Would be really nice to just get like 2 more lands in this pack. I do have 2 of the actual tri-lands, which is nice. Well, it's also nice to get a removal spell, so I'm just going to take Breathe Your Last. Keurig, Son of Yawgmoth. I don't know what this thing's doing in this set. It's a reprint, I guess. They wanted to reprint it for some reason. Not a good card. It turns all your black costs into Phyrexian mana, and you cast a black spell, it gets bigger, but too much work for too little payoff. All right, Dreadmobile probably goes... I don't really want to take the Pteramander out now that I have 3 Refurbished Familiars. I like the Angel of Ruins. Oh, actually I have Witch Enchanter too, so I have a lot of lands. Oh, hold on. I don't need the 3rd Breathe Your Last over Deceptive Landscape, but I'm looking at this Essence Reliquary. No. I like Essence Reliquary, trust me, and I like Obstinate Gargoyle, but this deck has enough nonsense going on. Let's just take the land. I don't need more slow ways to get card advantage. Okay, Consuming Corruption came back. I think that's probably better than the 3rd Gargoyle. I think Consuming... Though this is an artifact for all the Refurbished Familiars. I think Consuming Corruption is going to be pretty good, though. And I'll take an Ooze. I guess, yeah, whatever. I'm not playing any of these cards. Maybe I should just take the rare. Okay, Necrobloom came back. I think I would play 2 of them. I'm not going to play Quest for the Necropolis. And, okay, I've got to build this deck. It's got... it's got some options here. I don't have very many green or white cards, but I think that's totally fine. I have Grist and 6 and 2 Necroblooms. I guess I have this Warped Tusker. So currently I'm 4 cards over, but I also have 2 spell lands. So, I also like, with Eviscerator's Insight, I also kind of like Pteramander. I mean, I can probably go to like 2 plains, 8 swamps or something like this. So this is 10, 13. Well, this is also too many lands overall. Cut 1 swamp. So this is 9, 12, 13, 16, 18 lands, which I don't mind with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 white sources. Okay, I can just play the 1 plains. Get another swamp, and this is 6 green sources. Is there any chance? How many black? This is 8, 9, 12, 13 black. All right, I can probably go 1 less black. It makes Consuming Corruption a little bit worse, but that's okay. I can't Tron with Necrobloom, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have exactly 7 types. So I guess if I play both my spells as a land, I could do it. That's kind of why I was hoping to get some other random fetches, but I think a mono white fetch is too bad for me. I still had to cut like 3 cards. I guess Warp Tusker is probably one of them. Oh, I have an Angel of the Ruins too. Okay, I could probably cut a land then. That's 8, 12, 13, 16, 18, 19. Kind of like 19-ish lands. I mean, lands are good with 6, and it's kind of awkward if you mill one of these and don't get to pick up a land. But I kind of feel like I could go one lower. I still can't cut the plains. It's funny. I actually have kind of like over on white sources, but it's not like I have white cards to play. If I have to cut 2 cards, I mean, Ethereum Pteramander likely just going to have to be one of them. I just don't have enough artifacts to reliably make it good. And I do like Eviscerator's Insight. I have 19 creatures. I have a ton of creatures. All right, let's take out Pteramander and take out a swamp. And I still have 10 swamps for Consuming Corruption, plus an additional Glasswing Grace. So that's like 11 black sources. Yeah, this looks fine to me. And let's see how it does. I'm excited to play this deck. All right, time for round 1. We are playing against decidedly not Rick Astley. I'm on the play. Okay, I'll keep this hand. I need one of my many white sources. If I can just play Gargoyle on 3, Familiar on 4, I'll be pretty happy. If I draw any cheap artifact, I can play this on 3 and like one of the Transmogrants or a Marionette. Oh, and then I drew Contaminated Landscape. Sack this. They played Mystic Peak. I'll get my planes. Now I go Gargoyle into Familiar. Maybe into Shilgengar. Yeah, sounds great. Idol of False Gods, blue-red. Interesting. Okay, I've drawn like all my forests now. It's kind of awkward because I need a second black. I have like 11 black sources and like 7 green sources. Ugin's Labyrinth, but no exile. Into Glaring Fleshraker. Oh, that's nice. Look at this. Disenchanter, Witch Enchanter. Boom, kill Idol of the False God, and attack with the Obstinate Gargoyle. And if I draw a land next turn, or a swamp specifically, oh, they must be hard up for colorless lands if they're playing the cave, then I'll play Shilgengar. What? They're just sacking the cave? No, they need a forest badly. A refurbished Familiar, huh? All right, so let's go attack. And then I'm going to go post-combat, Eviscerator's Insight, sack the Gargoyle. It comes back. So if I draw a swamp, I can play Familiar here. Great. Swamp, refurbished Familiar. Start pecking away at their hand. And then next turn, I'm probably playing Shilgengar, but if I draw another swamp, I could also play a refurbished Familiar potentially. They just got a Malevolent Rumble. Yeah, they really... Taking turn 4 off to go get a forest is pretty brutal. I mean, I haven't put them under like tons of pressure, but... Still looking pretty good. Signature Slam. Sure. That's acceptable. Crack Bloodstained Mire to go get a mountain. And they probably don't want to attack. All right, land. They have 3 cards in hand. I kind of want to just attack their hand here. So let's go Refurbished Familiar. Discard a card, please. Into Refurbished Familiar. So they're going to go down to 1 card in hand. And I'll play my land. I don't think I have... I guess 6 is the reason not to play a land. Because if I play 6, then I have to retrace. But I think with Shilgengar in play... Actually, this makes blood. Maybe I shouldn't play a land either. Oh, Thriving Skyclaw. That's rough. That's rough to see. I mean, just Eldrazi, lots of colors, and Thriving Skyclaws. Not where you want to be. Let's play Shilgengar. And they're at 12. I was going to send with the Obstinate Gargoyle both Familiars, then sack the Gargoyle when they blocked. But I guess it wasn't necessary. All right, ranking up here. All right. Time for game 2 here. Karn on an unstoppable quest for 7 wins. Let's see. I'm on the play. All right. I don't have a Plains or a Forest yet. But Consuming Corruption with 3 swamps will buy me some time, and any cheap creature, of which I have tons of it, I'll be able to Eviscerator's Insight away to find some more action. They also mulligan, so yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Obviously, there's a way for this to go wrong, but I feel like it's in pretty good shape. Oh, Plains. Into Indebted Spirit. Okay, well, I won't be killing that. All right, well, let's play the swamp so I can Consuming Corruption their 2-drop. Looks like, yeah, red-white aggro. Conduit Goblin. Okay, hold on. I want to stop on... Oh, I don't need to stop on their main phase, I guess, because the energy gives me the stop. Because I'm just going to kill this in response. I don't want them using an energy to pump the Indebted Spirit. I mean... Oh, I guess... Maybe I would be fine with that, actually. I don't know. Maybe it didn't matter. Like, would I want them to spend an energy to do dual damage to me? There's just no reason to give them a choice, I guess. Oh, Pearl Ear. So it's a 3/4 lifelink. And when you modify one of your creatures, you draw a card. Okay. I'm just going to pass and cast Eviscerator's Insight after blocking Pearl Ear, most likely. He Conduit. All right, 4 energy. And they go to attacks. And I guess probably they could pump the Indebted Spirit in order to let it attack. Yeah, I think there's a decent chance they want to do that. And then they hit with both. Block Pearl Ear. And sack the Gargs. Indebted Spirit makes my Accursed Marauders really bad. So I guess I hope I don't draw them. Okay. The thing about drawing a bunch of lands is I have 6 in hand, so that's just not that bad. Let's just play the forest anyway, play Shilgengar. And I think past the turn, I don't think hitting them for 1 is particularly useful. And I might want to block and sack it into a blood. Oh no, what do they have? Dog Umbra. Okay, but it can still do its things. That's fine. I'll probably sack it at some point to Eviscerator's Insight and then Renin 6 it back. Renin 6 it back. Okay, they didn't play anything to give haste. That is nice. Are they going to pump the Pearl Ear? Okay, that's a little odd because I have this block kind of lined up. And a sack a creature, make a blood, and then take 3. Then next turn I play 6 and discard a land. Oh, Refurbished Familiar. I mean, I do like Refurbished Familiar, but I feel like it's still probably better to just go 6. They have 2 cards. They didn't play 1 last turn, so I don't know how good those cards are. Maybe they can't cast them, but they have 2. If they had 1 card in hand, I would be pretty in on using playing Refurbished Familiar this turn. But given that they have 2, do they have another Umbra? That would be funny. It wouldn't do that much. Oh, Thraben Charm to kill 6. I mean, I guess I'll sack 6 here to the thing, make a blood token, pass the turn. Oof, Area Auxiliary is a good one. Okay. Do I want to get to 3 blood tokens? This is going to be tough. That was a really good sequence. There's killing both my rares basically, and then untapping and casting Area Auxiliary was pretty sick. All right, I'm going to try to get to 6 tokens. I don't think trading for the 2/2 is really going to help me. I mean, but I'm in trouble here. If I draw something good this turn, I could see it. But, okay, the Necro Bloom is definitely not terrible. Let's go Refurbished Familiar. Get their last card. Oh, it's just a Plains weak. And then play this, leaving up Deceptive Landscape. Play a Swamp to make a token. Okay, actually, Necro Bloom was a very good draw. They have a flyer, but I've basically locked down the ground, and I'll double block Area Auxiliary with Obstinate Gargoyle and Refurbished Familiar. I put a 2/7 into play. That can block their ground things. And I can sack the Deceptive Landscape to go get, I guess, a forest. Okay, well, I'll just double block and trade. Because I can get to 6 tokens pretty fast here. 6 sack, 6 blood tokens. And they get finality counters, so they never come back, but that's still fine. All right, let's sack this. I think a forest is a little more likely to be useful than a swamp. And I could dredge. Let's dredge the Deceptive Landscape because, I milled 2 creatures. This is actually going really well. Sack Deceptive Landscape. Let's see. How much mana do I have? I have 4. Where were they going? We were just about to have some fun. I was going to try to stack what I was going to do was pay 3 mana, sack 6 blood tokens, put that ability on the stack. In response, Eviscerator's Insight with flashback, sacking the Shulgengar, and returning it with its own ability. That was going to be sick. All I needed was 8 mana, which is what I had that turn. So I think that turn I was going to get to do that and get back like Necrobloom, Marionette Apprentice, Shulgengar, 6, like the Obstinate Gargoyle, the other Obstinate Gargoyle, the Refurbished Familiar. Like, I guess we'll have to take the win because that's the whole point. But this deck can do some cool stuff for sure. All right, welcome to our next match. We got our third opponent. Where are you going? I'm not done. I'm on the play. Oh. This hand has Angel of Ruins, Victimize. Okay, and Necrobloom. So I'm going to play Glasswing Grace as a land here. That I think is a for sure thing. Turn 2, I guess I will sack Deceptive Landscape. Yeah. Let's just play this first. I think that's better because then I can go turn 2 Deceptive Landscape and not sack it yet. Just cycle Angel of Ruins. I hope they play an artifact or enchantment for me to blow up. That would be sick. Okay, Deceptive Landscape. I'm just going to plane cycle this, get my 1 planes. Playing against Teamer, or maybe, we will see. They're presumably sacking the Bountiful Landscape. Let's see what they got. Okay. And Eldrazi time? Well, there's a Priest of Titania, though. We'll slow that one down. Here, let's play a Cursed Marauder. We sack those. I don't mind losing the Cursed Marauder of the Gargoyle because I'm going to then play the Gargoyle and then I'm going to Victimize, get back a Cursed Marauder and the Angel, and then make them sack again. Okay, Skittering Precursor is a good card, but let's just play Obstinate Gargoyle here. Would have been nice to draw a land at some point, but we got time here. This is pretty good against a Cursed Marauder. Like, not because it generates tokens, because the Cursed Marauder doesn't care about those, but because it does make a token when you sack something to the Cursed Marauder. So this is an interesting spot. The way Victimize works, it's actually kind of bad for the caster of Victimize, but it's not part of a cost. You cast this card targeting the 2 in the graveyard. So if they kill your creature in response and you have no creature in play, you can't sack a creature and return them. The good news is Obstinate Gargoyle has Persist, so it's pretty hard for this not to work. If they kill my Obstinate Gargoyle in response, I'll just still have a 1/1 to sacrifice. So it doesn't actually accomplish anything. But it is funny. And if they have a way to kill it twice, but they're going to signature slam here is what it looks like. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't really matter. Given that I have no plays, it's time to just bring these back, get this Angel into play. And no exiles, unfortunately. I do want the Obstinate Marauder to come back, or sorry, the Obstinate Gargoyle to come back. I could sack it, but I actually still think I'm going to sack the Accursed Marauder, because I would rather have an artifact in play to make Refurbish cheaper. A 1/1 flyer is a little better than a 2/1 in this board. Well, I think they're going to play something. I guess it might not matter because they might kill it anyway. Oh, they're just going to cycle an Eldrazi Ravager, sure. And then if I have ways to bring things back, I want the Marauder in my graveyard because that lets me re-trigger it more easily. They're going to Ghostfire Slice that, sure. That is acceptable. I would like to draw a land, though Angel of Ruins is an artifact, so it's making my Refurbished Familiar cheaper. I mean, red-green might just have a big problem with the Angel. Wastescape Battlemage will get me good. Territory Color. Okay. And then they get to landfall, hopefully, and they get a creature out of it. And I can't find a swamp to save my life. All right. I have Shulgengar. No, I don't even want to race. I'm just going to pass the turn. I want to sack Deceptive Landscape to go get a swamp here. It strands the Necrobloom a bit, but I have Breathe Your Last and Consuming Corruption in hand. And I would like to kind of cast those. It's kind of unfortunate because their Eldrazi Ravager is gonna be kind of annoying now. And they're just drawing cards. Oh, wow. Eldrazi linebacker. I mean, this started great, but me being stuck on lands is eventually going to catch up to me. It already has. Like, I've missed a bunch of land drops and... Oh, no. Okay. Well, I was already planning on killing the territory color, so I guess that's good, but that's pretty big. All right. Having to take a turn off here is pretty brutal. Yeah, I take it. I'm at 9. Draw. All right, now I drew the land. Let's go. Necrobloom doesn't really do it. I think I'm just going to breathe your last this thing. Do they have the +1/+1 trick? It kind of feels like they might. I'm just not going to attack because I just have to block here even if they do have that. Oh, and they have Eldrazi linebacker. So, dang. I didn't think the game I was going to lose first was the game where I turn 2 a Curse Marauder, turn 3 Gargoyle, turn 4, or I guess it was turn 3 a Curse Marauder on the play to kill their 2-drop, and then victimize back Angel and a Curse Marauder to kill another thing. But here we are. I do indeed believe I'm just super dead. They can only give one of those haste, and I guess next turn I can play like a Wormcoil Larva. Oh, they're pumping that. Okay. I mean, I guess I have to chump now. Yeah. I think they're supposed to just pump one of the other things. It was just way better, but it doesn't really matter. I'm at 7. Yeah, I mean, I can play Wormcoil Larva now and just super dice. All right, well, got too far behind. If I'd been able to cast my spells, maybe, but they actually had a really strong set of Eldrazi, so it would have been tough either way. On to the next. All right. Playing against Fibblethip here. Let's see. Opponent goes first. Well, this is a pretty nice hand too. I'm on the draw, but I have turn 2 a Curse Marauder. Probably hoping to play a turn 3 just Obstinate Gargoyle or something. And I don't think I can wait until turn 4 for the Eviscerator's Insight to Curse Marauder combo, especially since Necrobloom gives me basically infinite things to sacrifice anyway. They also mulliganed. You know what? I'm going to sack Deceptive Landscape and get a Swamp. I think the upside of getting an extra token from Necrobloom is not worth the downside of having to wait to cast a double black spell. So, let's just pass the turn. Forest is fine. Oh, they're stuck on lands. I don't know that I cycle the Angel here. Oh, no, I definitely don't. I only have 1 Plains in my deck, so that probably wouldn't be a good idea. White of the Reliquary. All right. Well, funnily enough, I am going to now do the trick of a Curse Marauder, play it, resolve it, Eviscerator's Insight, sack it. I mean, sure, we'll take it. And White of the Reliquary gets out of here. It basically just turns Eviscerator's Insight into a 2-mana draw too, which is a good card. Oh, no plays. Oh, it's going to be tough for them. I kind of feel like the first thing I play is going to die. So let's go Retrofitted Transmogrant and just play Refurbished Familiar. I'm going to kind of play like my crap out here. And I think I do play the Glasswing Grace because that's the second white to cast this Angel, which is kind of nice. I didn't really want to play Necrobloom because I felt like they could have it a Curse Marauder pretty easily. So if I went Necrobloom, make a token, and they just play a Curse Marauder, it doesn't sound like... Yep, there you go. There's the Curse Marauder. Well, you know, it just felt like a very logical card for them to have. Now they have a removal spell in hand, and they're just going to, like, yeah, sure, kill my 2-1 that made you discard a card. Go nuts. And they played a 3/3. That's what it is. Ooh, Grist. Haven't had a chance to use that one yet. Necrobloom, and I don't need to play the Grist yet, though. Let's play Marionette Apprentice, make a Servo, and fill the board full of obnoxious cards. That's what I'm trying to do here. Oh man, the Trickster's Elk is an enchantment too. This is so brutal for them. When I cast this Angel, it just gets to snap up their 3/3 for just no real reason, like just as a bonus, you know. And I think I do that. I will not dredge my land. I guess I kind of wish I did. Let's cast this. Nug the Trickster's Elk. And I still don't actually have attacks. I have like 6 creatures out and none of it does anything. But I don't really know how they're getting out of this. I mean, they can kill the angel and their problems are long away from being solved. My opponent's on 3 cards in hand, 5 mana, and I might just end up sacking the Transmogrant, because then if I play Grist, I get to bring it back and then pay a green to flip Grist. And that also seems pretty nice. Also, Necrobloom, I just don't care about it living or dying because I have a second one in my hand, so I'm willing to throw that one away for anything. A second Temperamental Oozewag. You got it. Do I want to make 2 tokens and do some dredging? No, I don't really think so. Yeah. Ended up the same place. Let's attack. And I think I just attack there, or do I maybe attack with the Transmogrant as well? All right, I got a point through. Play Contaminated Landscape. I'm at 5 different types for Necrobloom. I mean, I guess I have 1 more Deceptive Landscape, but I can just dredge that one, I guess. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be 6. And then I have the Witch Enchanter as the 7th type. Maybe with 2 Necroblooms. I still don't think I can put a colorless land in. I've already had mana issues as is. That's a shame. It's too bad that I didn't find like a blue, green, black one of the fetch lands or something along those lines. Oh, they're playing the Bridgeworks as a land? Do they have another fight card? Oh, they're just Wither and Blooming it? Oh, and then they have the Unnatural Hunger. Okay. Or Horrific Assault. Sure. Yeah, the Angel is going to die. I actually don't want to sack Angel to the Insight. I want to sack the Retrofitter Transmogrant. They can attack with their Oozewag now, too. It's not crazy to do that. Let's go Eviscerator's Insight, sack the Transmogrant. Drain for 1. Just draw. Okay. I mean, I kind of want to just turn these into damage. So I'll block with those 3. I just have enough tokens. I'm not doing anything with them. This drains them. I mean, they're pretty dead just on this Marionette Apprentice, I feel like. Yeah, I'm not even going to get to the point where I'm making zombies. Let's just get another swamp. Make another token. Just draw. I can play Grist here. Let's see. And then bring back Transmogrant. Pay a green to flip the Grist. Oh, this is pretty cool. And then mill. And I milled a black card, so it has Death Touch. Play Deceptive Landscape. Make another Necro thing. I think I just blow up this Oozewag. I could attack them for some damage, but oh, I guess I have a Grist to protect. All right, let's just chill. I mean, they can't possibly win from this position. They'd have to like kill Marionette Apprentice, and even then, like, where are they going? All right, well, they killed Marionette Apprentice. I don't think that's going to be nearly enough. I'm not going to dredge with Necrobloom. I'm just going to hope to draw Victimize or Chthonian Nightmare or 6. Also, even if I don't draw those, like, I attack them with everything, and I'm not sure what they do. Let's just go draw. Oh, Refurbished Familiar. Let's start there. Get their last card. It's land. Make an insect. Mill 2 cards. Okay, I milled Chthonian Nightmare, so that's something to keep in mind. But I can also just attack with everything here. I guess I don't need to attack with my plants. Oh, I just managed to re-attack them. Sure, whatever. I mean, they block the Retrofitter and they take 3 down to 3. 4 down to 2. Yeah, and then I can bring back Retrofitter. And I mean, if they had a sweeper, Well, Toxic Deluge sure is not going to do it anymore. I think we have successfully overwhelmed them with plants and whatnot. All right. Another dub here. All right. Battling against Ralzeric. But is he ready for grist? I'm on the play. Ooh. I like this hand. I think I might wait on the Deceptive Landscape here. I probably want to get green with it, but there's a chance that I draw a forest and then I might want to get a plains with it. There's also a chance that I want to get a swamp with it because I do have Consuming Corruption in hand. Though, I'm probably going to cast that before I end up in a spot where I could sack the land to get something else. We'll see, we'll see. I mean, the Necrobloom's pretty good. Let's just pass here. Maybe I'll end up on the turn 4 Marauder Sack-It plan again. We'll see. Play against energy? All right. I don't mind it. All right. Play Deceptive Landscape. Pass the turn. I will need to draw a land eventually. They're not doing anything. Yeah, let's just take my turn. Okay. I guess that's how that's going to be. Sure. I'm going to let this happen and let them spend their energy, and then I'm going to hit it with a Consuming Corruption here. Try to nug that for 2. Okay. I'm glad they didn't counter it, but I just didn't really want it to pass it to play around counters. I think the equity of making them pay in energy is so much better. If they play something that I could get with the Cursed Marauder, that would be pretty nice. I'm going to get a forest now because I need to be able to play spells. Oh, I have a lot of plains in my deck. Let's just play the Necrobloom. I don't know. It's pretty hard to kill. I don't care too much if they deal with this. I guess they could deem it inferior or something. Oh, another Electrozoa? Sure. I could have played Refurbished Familiar, but I kind of like... Oh, they're going to Galvanic Discharge that? Yeah, that's fine with me, because that uses like all their energy. Are they going to pay 1 for the Electrozoa? I mean, 1 energy for 3 damage is a decent deal. It kind of depends on what else is in their hand. Oh, Phyrexian Ironworks. That's annoying. So they get their energy back here. Oh, they were going to get an attack in anyway. I probably wouldn't have paid then if I were them, because they really do want to build up their energy for that Ironworks. Okay, another land is nice. Let's see. Why don't I go Contaminated Landscape? Let's just play Wormcoil Larva. I was thinking of playing a Cursed Marauder and sacking it and all that, but like, let's just get this thing into play. It makes my Refurbished Familiar cheaper. They can Sarpadian Simulacrum it, but that takes a bunch of energy. Right now, their Ironworks is basically just paying for their Electrozoa to attack, which is fine. Oh, you really don't want to sack Simulacrum now. Like, what you want to do is block and then sack it at that point. Okay, a Solstice Zealot? Sure. Oh, are they going to make a Golem? Okay, they chose not to make a Golem. They have 2 cards in hand. Let's start by attacking with the Wormcoil Larva. Or trying to. They have Galvanic Discharge on the Wormcoil Larva. Let's sack that, I guess. I think that's fine. Oh, Witch Enchanter is really nice. All right, that's going to be my play this turn. They have 1 card. Maybe I let them make a Golem. I don't care about the Golem that much. I think getting them with Refurbished Familiar is pretty nice. So let's just go Refurbished Familiar. Get your last card. Okay, it just made some energy. And then land. I think it's still probably worth playing a Cursed Marauder. It just trades for the Sarpadian Simulacrum, which is not wonderful, but it's not really going to get better. Oh. Huh? I mean, I guess this lets them kill the Refurbished Familiar with their Simulacrum. That's kind of odd. This Angel of the Ruins is also going to be a beating if I draw a way to play it. I don't have very many ways to cast it because I have just the 1 plains, but I have the land also. The Glasswing Grace, that is. That's fine, though, because I have Witch Enchanter here. play this. And blow up the ironworks. Okay. Let's play a land. Well, I guess I attack with these two. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant because they're going to block and kill the refurbished familiar is my guess. Oh, they're just going to trade for the lifelinker? Sure. All right, and then just play Grist. Pass the turn. I have nothing to cycle the Angel for, so I'm not going to do that. Oh, they're cycling their land. Sure. We've kind of ground them out here at this point. I feel like... oh, it's giving me an upkeep stock because of Electrozoa. That's interesting. So now when your opponent has a first main stop, they wait. Interesting. Okay, I'll get a swamp. And I think I sacked the deceptive landscape to get a forest. Like, what if I wanted to play 6 and flip Grist in the same turn or something? Okay, so they can kill something now while I'm tapped out of Eviscerator's Insight. That's the thing, is my deck's pretty good against removal. All my creatures suck. Like, oh, another refurbished familiar. That is great, but I don't think there's a strong reason to play it before attacks. Just gives them a little more information. Maybe they'll use a removal spell on something and I can discard their last card. All right, refurbished familiar. Just pecking away at them, grinding them out. All right, you got another Electrozoa. And discard a Riddlegate Gargoyle. All right, pass the turn. Okay. They're going all in on Electrozoas here. I mean, if they had a way to kill this refurbished familiar, that could be something, but I can just block 1, take 3 to 14. Solstice Zealot. All right, let's play Eviscerator's Insight. I guess sacking the Witch Enchanter because the 1/2 Death Touch I think is a little bit better. Okay, there's a Transmogrant. I would like to get that in the graveyard somehow. Marionette Apprentice is nice too. So let's go Marionette Apprentice. Make a servo. They're at 13. I just attack with these. If they want to trade Solstice Zealous for Grist, that's fine. I don't really have a way to use Grist at the moment. And then play Transmogrant. And I guess I'm actually cycling the Deceptive Landscape? That's funny. I mean, they kind of have to pay for the Electrozoa. I don't really know if the attacking me is going to work out, but it might be their best path to victory. I don't know. Down to 11. And like if they have another... Yeah, they have a Cyclops Superconductor. All right, let's cycle this land. Draw... Okay, they get some more energy there. Draw. Oh, there we go. Victimize can get back Wormcoil, Necrobloom, this Angel. They don't have any artifacts or enchantments in play. Here, let's go cycle this Angel. Get nothing. Victimize on the Angel and the Necrobloom, I think. And then sack the Retrofitted. Yeah, nice, nice. And then I'm not angeling anything. But I am getting a Marionette trigger. And I get to flip Grist here. And then I can mill here. I've got plenty of cards. And go to my attacks. And let's see if they tap anything. No. I mean, they could just tap this if I don't attack, and attack with the Death Toucher, and I still have a Death Toucher back. All right. Attack and put them to 5. Oh, they want a Superconductor trade here and then ping my Marionette Apprentice? Sure. Getting their 2/2 prowess off the board is something I'm pretty happy about. Oh, they're going to kill a refurbished familiar instead. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty hard one for them to win, I think. Given that they're running out of energy, they're running out of life. They don't have very many cards. Like, look at how many cards I'm up. They have 8 cards total, and I have 8 of just lands plus all my non-lands. All right, another nice game there. All right. A little Oko Thief of Crowns action here. And I'm on the play with... All right, I mean, this hand is like a little bit weird, but I think it's going to work out nicely. And in fact, I'm not even going to need to play Witch Enchanter as a land, I don't think. I am short of black this way, and I could have played this as my white source and sack landscape, but look, it's not even an issue. Let's just play Grist. Sack Contaminated Landscape, get a Plains. And then pass the turn with Obstinate Gargoyle into Witch Enchanter. Ooh, if we're playing against white-green, nice. They have a lot of artifacts and enchantments. No attacks. I'm going to get to flip Grist turn 4 here. I get to Eviscerator's Insight the Gargoyle, and then when it comes back, I get to pay for Grist. I just got to make sure the auto tapper doesn't tap my forest. I mean, that sounds pretty good. I'll end up with a Grist Planeswalker and a 1/1 in play. Wing it. Okay. Yeah, you got it. It's a 3/3 flyer. Are they using this to... Oh, they're gonna use this to Horrific Assault my Grist, I think. That's kind of why this might make sense, but I guess I don't know. Yeah. I was really hoping to get my Grist going here. It's kind of rude of them to deny me that. It's like, how often is Grist even going to work in this spot? You know, it's really just something. Let's play Necrobloom. Let's hit. And I still feel pretty good about this spot because I have a removal spell for that Hydra Trainer. I also can potentially ambush it by using Eviscerator's Insight, sacking the Gargoyle. Now it just goes to the skies. But we'll see what they do. I mean, they could adapt it at that point, but maybe they're tapped out. Who knows? It's a shame. I really was looking forward to that Grist. If they go Solar Transformer and then no lands here, I think I'm going to Witch Enchanter that thing. And I will, in fact, dredge the Deceptive Landscape. I dredged my Chthonian Nightmare, but I felt like hitting a land drop and making 2 tokens was pretty good. Witch Enchanter. Blow up Solar Transformer. Sack the landscape, and I'm just going to get another swamp here. And attack for 4. Okay, well, I won't be dredging this turn. Dang, this would have been nice to Chthonian Nightmare back that Grist. Well, I still have 6, which can get back the Chthonian Nightmare, and a Victimize, which can get back Refurbished Familiar and Grist. So I still got plenty of play here. Just draw. Ooh, Marionette Apprentice. All right, let's play that. Let's make a servo. I think I just Breathe Your Last, the Watchdog. Kill that. And then attack for 6 here. This puts them to 8 with a huge board in Marionette Apprentice, which feels like it's pretty close to a dub. I mean, they've been stuck on lands, so that part's been nice. Really? Branching Evolution? I don't think it's no way you have time for that, but okay. I don't really know what's going on here. They have like a trick or something? I don't even know if there is one. All right, they're at 2 now. All right, Eviscerator's Insight. I guess I'll just sack the token. And I will not dredge. Draw. And play a Gargoyle. I don't really know what they could have, but playing a Persist creature seems like it's pretty good. Wrath of the Skies. Certainly won't do it against Marionette Apprentice. Sure, I'll put a Refurbished Familiar into play. Why not? Make them discard a card. Get those game actions in. All right. Well, we got there. I was excited that I was going to get to flip Grist, but got there anyway, and even ranked up here to Diamond 3. All right. Time to battle. Oh, I fought against Minsk and Vu a lot of times over my cube career here. On the draw, maybe we'll get 6 going. We've yet to see Chthonian Nightmare anywhere but the graveyard. Okay, if we're playing against Retrofitted Transmogrant, I do like my my Witch Enchanter opener. Though, actually, I guess I'm supposed to get the Greenland first in case I draw Grist. It's true. Like, that was my curve last game. Okay, red-black, no Cranial Ram, please. Oh, Party Thrasher's pretty good. Okay. I still want to get my green source, so I'm just going to do that now. There wasn't any way to get retrofitted Transmogrant out here, I don't think. Okay. Let's see if they're... Oh, they're not partying, so their hand is so good. They don't want a Party Thrasher. Or they just have a 3-drop that they like. So, that one's not that good. I mean, it's fine. Funnily enough, there is the Grist. Let's just go Obstinate Gargoyle. Seems pretty safe. They can't kill it very easily. I could play 6 there. Whoa, they discarded a blue card? At least they can only play one of these refurbished familiars. All right, I guess I'll discard the... Well, do I want to discard Transmogrant or do I want to discard something for Victimize? It's kind of an interesting question. I don't actually know. How likely am I want to Victimize yet? I think I kind of want to cast the Transmogrant. Let's just discard the Witch Enchanter. Look, I know it's a little weird, but I feel like between 6 and Victimize, I can get it back. And it's just like one of the more expensive cards. Because here, I can go Transmogrant because I don't mind blocking with it. And then play 6. And pass the turn. I mean, they've got to be discarding. Oh, and they didn't play a land last turn? Is that right? No. That's true. They didn't play a land last turn. Interesting. And they have Unfathomable Truths in their deck. That's a kind of weird outlier. Okay. I don't know about discarding that Witch Enchanter. It's tough. But I am pretty close to just going like Grist plus bring something back. Okay, so they didn't. Okay. I'll block the Dross Claw. I guess trade the Transmogrant. Sure. I just don't want to take too much damage against red-black. And I don't want to block with 6 and expose it to like a Galvanic Discharge. That does not seem like a wise move. I guess they can equip the Party Thrasher and leave up Galvanic Discharge for when I attack. Nope, they didn't have that. All right, it would be really nice to hit a land here. So let's just attack with this. Mill a land, please. No? All right, sure. I did hit Victimize on Shilgangar. That's pretty good. All right. I'll stop complaining. Let's go Grist. Sadly, I don't get to... let's get Shilgangar and Witch Enchanter back. Sacking Obstinate Gargoyle. Sadly, I don't get to flip the Grist this turn. All right. I will blow up the Refurbished Familiar. Put these into play and then pass the turn. I can make blood tokens with Shilgangar here. I don't understand not discarding and then not playing a land and then not playing a spell. There's almost no way that could be right. All right, now they have to hit their swamp, I imagine. They can't take Emperor of Bones. I mean, I don't really know how they're going to deal with this Shilgangar, to be honest. If they attack with Party Thrasher, I could even block with the Grist. Though, I'm hoping next turn to flip the Grist off of casting like a Refurbished Familiar or something. Oh, Toxic Deluge X equals 6. Okay. Sure. That's annoying. Damn, Toxic Deluge is a good card. It's kind of rough because I don't actually have a way to bring things back now. I think they've broken the chain because this is the Shilgangar is gone. The 6 is gone, and the Chthonian Nightmare is gone. And the Victimize is gone. So Chthonian Nightmare, Victimize, 6, and Shilgangar are all my ways. All right. That's really annoying. I could play a 1-mana Refurbished Familiar. I kind of just want to put the Transmogrant into play. Definitely a winnable game still, but they broke all my toys. I don't like that. Ooh, Marionette Apprentice is very good. Because I didn't end up playing the Gravedigg. Yeah, and Unstable Amulet. Okay. Well, I get to attack for 3 here. They should definitely use the Amulet. No, they haven't played a land. Opponent, come on. Draw. Let's go Refurbished Familiar here for 1 mana. Get a card out of their hand. I'm going to use blood tokens to discard this Refitted Transmogrant, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I guess the Lethal Throwdown's not the best against my Transmogrant attackers. I haven't drawn a land yet. Just play Gargoyle. Well, the thing that's unfortunate is I know I have a ton of lands left in my deck now. I've used 2, 6, so I have 15 actual lands, because I'm not counting the Angel, I guess. Waterlogged Teachings. And I've gone through 2, 6, so I have 9 lands. Yeah, slightly less than half lands left in my deck, which is kind of rough. But I'm hoping to get there off of the back of the Transmogrant, the Familiar, and the Gargoyle. Maybe a Necrobloom, which at this point can already not make 2/2s. My own Marionette Apprentice would be nice. There's a lot that they could get there. All right, they're passing the turn. I'm just going to attack and see what happens. Okay. They're just going to get back their own Transmogrant, I guess, is what they're doing this turn. Oh, no, they're Pyretic Rebirth, getting back a Refurbished Familiar. Okay. They go to 9, and I take 1. Funnily enough, I think I just pass now, because they're going to cast Refurbished Familiar for sure. And then I discard the Transmogrant and just put it back into play. It'd be really funny if they didn't play the Familiar this turn, but I would be pretty surprised if that was the case. Really? Was that the best thing they could get? Huh. I guess they didn't want to get a 6-drop they couldn't cast, sure. I mean, they're actually in a lot of trouble here. Attacking, all right. It's a little bold. Because they're at a point where we're doing retrofitted Transmogrant battles, but they're kind of behind, and it does not block well in that case. Okay, here we go. Draw. So now, I think if I just Consume and Corruption and hit them to 1, that feels like that's pretty good. Let's use a blood, discard a forest. It's probably just going to be another land. Oh, breathe your last. All right, yeah, in that case, just nug this. I gain a life because I take 1 off the Marionette and then gain 2. So I'm at 13. They're at 1. Yeah, they can't really kill me with their Transmogrant here. And now they have to manage to not die to my 3 attackers, which, I mean, obviously is possible, but I have another removal spell in hand. We'll see what they play. Obviously, there's a lot they could do. Nope. We got them. Oh, man. They actually broke the chain, which is pretty hard to do. Toxic Deluge did the trick, but Transmogrants still battled back. Are we 6-1? Wow, we are really getting there? All right. Let's go to our last game here. Well, I guess I hope it's our last game. If we lose, we get 1 more. So, depending on what your goals are here, if you want to watch the max number of games, you want me to lose this, but I could assure you that anyone watching here is, of course, rooting for me, as always. I'm sure plenty of people don't, especially when I make horrific mistakes or get ahead of myself. Like, I could definitely do that. But I've liked how this draft has gone. Let's see if we can close it strong. All right. My Little Pony here to finish things off, I guess. I'm on the play. Oh, this hand is just perfect. Let's go Glasswing Grace into Marionette Apprentice into Accursed Marauder. It's a great start with a Wormcoil Larva and a Victimize in hand. I mean, if if you're keeping track, which not that I would, of the last, counting this one, of the last 4. Ooh. Okay, so I can't quite play that turn 3, but I think I'll just play the Marionette Apprentice. And then if I draw a Swamp, I can play the Gargoyle, or Plains, I guess. But, or 6, even better. Let's attack, and if they have Ether Spike, then, I have ways to get it back, like Victimize. Anyways, of the last 4 drafts I've posted, I've gotten 7 wins with 3 of them, all with black decks. With the Crabomination deck, with this deck and like a black-white tokens deck. So that's pretty sick, honestly. And this game looks like it's going to be pretty easy. I have a Dog Umbra. Dog Umbra's a little annoying, but I have a... Wait, Dog Umbra's not annoying at all. It doesn't stop 6 from like doing its thing. All right, that's wild. I think I actually get planes here. The reason is I have the Angel of Hope. Oh, no, that's actually a reason not to get planes. If I drew the Angel, I would want to cycle it. Well, whatever. I can still use 6's ability, though I don't have anything to use it with. But they're also just not doing anything. All right, I'll play a Refurbished Familiar, make them discard a card, I guess. Do they have like a Wrath or something? I mean, they might. I guess that's fine, though, because Obstinate Gargoyle would persist back. Wrath of the Skies wouldn't even kill all my stuff. And then, yeah, this just doesn't really bother me. It's going to work out great. They're going to lose a bunch of life. It's going to persist. I keep Refurbished Familiar, and then I'm just going to victimize. Oh, Chthonian Nightmare, the last stand. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I actually think it's good, because like I'm going to go Chthonian Nightmare, get 3 energy. I will get back Marionette Apprentice, sacking the Gargoyle. And then I was going to Chthonian Nightmare, sack the token, and get back 6. Okay, that counts as a dub for Chthonian Nightmare, even though it showed up right at the nick of time to get all the credit, I'm sure. I'm sure you've worked with someone like that on a group project before. All right, look at this deck. This deck was a beauty. Grist was awesome. I even got to flip it a few times. The Marauders were really good. Obviously, just having some removals good, but the engine is like 6 plus Chthonian Nightmare plus Victimize. And just those 3 cards plus a bunch of good value creatures, like I was making tokens off Necrobloom, Wormcoil is very good, Shilgangar is sick, obviously. The one game where I got to Shilgangar himself back, which was very cool. I technically didn't get to, but I was about to. It counts. Angel of Ruins cycling and getting it back was awesome. The Insight was good. The Transmogrants were really important, having those 2. The mana was good. I lost. The one game I lost, it was because I didn't draw another Swamp in a timely fashion. But having 3 Deceptive Landscapes and a Contaminated Landscape, plus like a black-white land and a Cycler, it was a little awkward not having 2 planes for this Angel. But I think that was right. I just don't think this deck needed a second planes. Witch Enchanter recurring that was also really good. And this is the kind of deck I find that you can draft in MH3. It doesn't all have to be Eldrazi, and this deck had a lot of really good stuff going for it. Of course, you don't start with 6 into Chthonian Nightmare that often, but the rest of the cards also stood on their own. It's not like the Nightmare actually contributed a whole lot. And 6 was good a few of the times, of course. But I mean, even just having a bunch of Refurbished Familiars, Necrobloom, and like Victimize was pretty strong. So I had a lot of fun with this draft, and hope you're enjoying MH3, because I sure am. I'll be back tomorrow with another draft. We're going to be, doing some amount of Winston, some amount of Cube, some amount of MH3. And you know what? I appreciate you hanging out with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps out the channel, and you won't miss a single draft.